Yeah, listener, an excellent question because it allows me to probe into something I've thought about for a long time. Superficially, there's a lot of jujitsu schools that go into MMA, and I think it's a real problem because the belief with striking is that it's so natural that anybody can do it, right? Two arms, two legs, you're punching and kicking, no big deal. So what those students never do, and what MMA never does, is they never really truly learn stand up. And so the grappling in MMA may be very good, but the stand up in MMA is not so good. My friend Dan Black used to say, I'm sick of MMA, it's D level kickboxing, which was very humorous, but it was actually very true at the time, especially back then. And you know, the thing is, I know jujitsu is deeper. It's a deeper pool, but it doesn't mean striking is not a deep pool that takes years and years to develop of concentrated practice, like every single art does. And that's what's so great about each and every one of them. The stand up in MMA I often describe as like a sloppy mix of everything. Like, and they break rules that they can't really break, and because they break those rules, they're sensational knockouts. But you know, that's also why we love it, right? So I wouldn't necessarily say that striking is easier than MMA, than Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I would rather say that you know, everything is complex in its own way. I will note that several MMA guys have taken the Chuck Liddell way. What's Chuck Liddell way? Learn how to not get taken down, and if you do get taken down, learn how to get the underhook to get up and force it into a stand-up fight. You know, Alex Perez done that very well. Israel Adesanya's done that very well. So these stand-up experts come into MMA, they just learn those two basic things: not to get taken down. If they get taken down, how to get up, and they're devastating because the level of stand-up in MMA is so bad. And not just that it's so bad; it's just MMA guys have bad habits. They do bad things that they can't really do. Like if you were in Muay Thai, you wouldn't be moving your head, right? Like if you're in boxing, you know, you can have a really wide stance, but then you're gonna get kicked with a leg kick. And MMA guys kind of break all the rules, right? They fight, and by the way, in that self there is power because they do unconventional things that you wouldn't think would work, and they do work many of the time. But if you're fighting a guy who's really polished at kickboxing or boxing or whatever, eventually he's going to get you with one of those things. It explains how Dominic Cruz's confusing style was eventually solved by an ex-pro boxer, Cody Garbrandt, right? Like those things eventually come to an end. And my fear is that in MMA, people learn jiu-jitsu like it's the important art, and everything else takes kind of a secondary stance, and it's all mixed together in a big pool of slop. But it is what it is, man. We only have one lifetime. You could spend a lifetime on each art. So, yeah, you're never going to have that. And those holes are what make it so exciting. Everybody, read my book, Warrior of the Light.